Hi guys, it's me, Shalmira. I just wanted to share a few thoughts on what's happening with me, and I'm guessing some of you as well are noticing similar types of shifts. So this week and last weekend was pretty intense and energetically. I know there was a lot going on with Earth poles shifting and solar flares and solar activity, and what I was noticing was I couldn't sleep at night, but I was tired. So it wasn't anything to do with being sleepy. I just couldn't sleep. And I had a very upset stomach for a few days for no reason. I was noticing a little dizziness, and then I noticed power outages, and I had seen other people talking about this. And so I wanted to mention that. Also having lucid dreaming, nightmares, or when I was sleeping, it was like before and after the insomnia, I was having nightmares and or a lot of visions and downloads. So that was happening at night. Also just this draw to go inward, to meditate more, to rest, pamper, take more baths, really sink into a place of deep self-care and inquiry. And it's been challenging because I have a to-do list that I feel like I have to get through. I have to do this, this, and this today. But then Spirit is guiding me to connect with nature, to really go inside and be inquisitive and listen more and just pamper and give self-love. So that's been something that has been a bit of a challenge, just really listening and following through on that. And the other thing that I've been noticing with relationships and friendships is that people in my close circle, I will have a difference in opinion, and maybe we'll get into some sort of conflict and argument. And I notice that things have shifted for me in that there's more forgiveness there and more compassion when, say, maybe I'm being projected on, attacked, accused of something that I don't feel is where I'm coming from. And in the past, I would get really angry, blame them, make them wrong, and it was just a different energy. Now I feel like I can empathize with where they're coming from. I can really respect them and respect their opinion. But another shift that has happened is that I am being very particular around my energy. And so if there's someone that is doing a lot of attacking and projecting, blaming, accusing, I can completely have compassion and relate where they're coming from. And also I can choose to distance myself, not because they're wrong and I'm right, or I'm wrong and they're right. There's not that like I used to have a lot. It's just a protecting of my energy and choosing what types of energies I need to be around. And it's more objective. It's more like it's less personal and more of what is the mission here. And so I find myself in arguments just surrendering and saying, admitting that I was wrong, and just there's just forgiveness and empathy and compassion there. But at the same time, I'm really looking at what types of energies I want to be around, and I'm really drawn to relationships that are empowering and gentle and kind and moving in an upward frequency direction. And so I feel like we really don't have a place for arguments anymore. I feel like debates are pointless, and arguing there's just no need for it. Like what we're really needing is to group together in unity to find our commonalities and our common direction. And just, I feel like a video game character that's just like knocking everything out of its way except, its goal, where it needs to go, where it's headed. And there's just so much that we don't have the luxury of focusing on anymore. Like I feel like we have a window of time to really raise our frequency, raise our vibration, get completely into a space of love and acceptance and mutual respect and honoring. And so this is what's coming up for me. And so I'm finding that when I am irritated or feel anger or anything like that, like I'm really being called to breathe it out, to dance it out, to give it away to the earth, to really just move it, and don't waste time in petty little arguments and disagreements and in any conflict that's really not going to be resolved. So I have been noticing that around relationships. Some of them, are falling away because we just don't have the same frequency. We're not moving in the same direction. And I am noticing that, it's okay to have that. There were some other things I wanted to talk about, but they sort of left. Anyway, energetically, it feels like we're all shifting into a place of what's important, what's not. And I'm noticing that we're merging parts of ourselves that we may have denied or we maybe outgrew them years ago and felt like they were gone, and now they're coming back in to be integrated, it feels like. So say like years ago I was in sales, and then I let go of that completely, outgrew it is what I thought, outgrew dance and moved into just spirituality. And then so there have been different phases in my life that I feel like I've moved on and grown out of. Well, now these aspects of me are coming back in to be fully integrated with who I am now. So I feel this sort of, it's a soul retrieval, but on a much bigger scale and on all levels. So I look at it as, the physical, mundane level, the emotional level, the physical body level, the energetic level, and the soul level. So normally with a soul retrieval, it's part of your soul that's coming back, part of your bigger aspects. But what I notice now is it's also the mundane, the career, the professions, the what we've done and outgrown physically is coming back in to kind of join together. So as an example, I have started dancing again in a spiritual way. So it's spiritual dance. And I've started doing sales again, but also bringing the spiritual aspect into sales, bringing the divine feminine into everything that I'm doing now. So it's being a conduit for divine love and grace in ways that I never have before. So you might also be noticing that aspects of yourself or ways that you've been in the past are coming up again and calling you to reincorporate these into who you are now. Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't noticing that, but I just wanted to bring that up because it's definitely something that I've been seeing as a pattern. And so it's really like being a different way and in old familiar scenarios. And I was going to bring up something else. It keeps coming and then going out of my mind. The other aspect of this that's been really prevalent is that I notice this time when the spiritual downloads come in or insights come in, the awareness is really going into the first and second chakras. So it's bringing that light into the root. It's bringing that light into the sacral, and it's embodying it. So what I notice is there will be a lot of downloads at night. So information that comes in, and then it's guiding me to really ground it into the sacral chakra. And then it's about embodying that. So the download doesn't feel fully activated until I start moving with it. And specifically in dance or even just, doing yard work so it's about embodiment. It's about bringing the new energies into the body and then moving with them. And so that's a new and different way of expression of the light energy and the cosmic energies that are coming in. I've also been guided to not necessarily ground the heavy energy into the earth, but to transmute it into love. So that's another guidance that I've been given. And I think that, there's just so much shifting right now and so much happening that I felt like I wanted to jump on and just talk about some similarities in what many of us are going through. I know that many of us are being drawn also to kind of withdraw and really go inward. And some of us are being called to fast and to really just shut off all of our senses, to withdraw from social media for a little bit and do, a fast in that we're not putting any information in except what is coming through us and as information. And so with that, I feel like it's important because, as an example, yesterday I completely resisted the call to just meditate and do devotion and spend the day just really inward. And I just finished my to-do list. Well, last night I just didn't feel in balance. I got a lot of things done, but I didn't feel balanced, and I felt, I had this irritability coming up until I did my nightly ceremony. And so, there was this sort of fighting against myself. And then this morning, I meditated for the first few hours when I woke up. And I really tapped into, genius ideas started just flowing through. And so then when I did take action, it was coming from a very divine space as opposed to rush and force and trying to make it happen. And so what ended up coming out of the action was I feel clearer and from a more of a heart space, and it just seemed to flow better. So what I learned from that is that it's important to listen and take time away from our to-do list when we're feeling called to do that. And it doesn't mean that we're going to take, 4 days off, but it only took a couple of hours for me to feel centered again and to have information flowing and to get back to inspiration. And so yesterday doing it the forcing way, and then today doing it the allowing and accepting way was a big difference. So I hope this is helpful for some of you as well. I know I've had other friends talking about it, going through something similar, and it seems like we're all very much on the same page, even if the stories look a little different. So I just invite you to take time and connect with nature. I'm just looking around at the trees blowing in the wind, and take the time to pamper yourself. Take that hot bath with your favorite oils, and really take the time to just slow down. I took this really awesome CBD face cream the other night after my bath, and usually I just rush to like slap it on my face, and I just took it, and I mindfully just really took about 20-30 minutes just putting it on my face like I would have someone do if they were giving a facial, and just loving my skin. And it just felt so pampering and fulfilling to slow down enough and to honor my skin and the time that I had, and to honor myself. And I feel like that's really important to make those choices right now for the feminine, the divine feminine, to be fully expressed. And we're so busy that we feel like we can't take that time. But it was literally 20-30 minutes, and interestingly, I noticed that the cream felt so much better on my face when I applied it that way, instead of just rushing to just hurry up and get done so I could go to bed. So it's little things like that, mindfulness, choices we make, that I feel like are really going to fulfill us at a deep soul level right now with all the shifts that we're going through. And it's there's also a piece in it about feeling really worthy of honoring ourselves and being honored. And I'm bringing that and being guided to bring that mindset into all of my life, into business specifically, into interacting relationships, into eating, into every single thing that I'm doing. I'm being guided to bring that aspect into the divine feminine, to really bring that mystery of the divine feminine into every single thing that I'm doing and thinking and being. So it's new. Definitely bringing that into business, because those have always been compartmentalized for me. And it's also new bringing that fully into dance, because dance has always been a place that I have strived and been competitive and been perfectionist and pushed and forced. And so now it's bringing that honoring into dance and into sales and into relationships and into navigating what's going on right now in the world. Like you can look at it and have a very limiting story about it, which I've had, or you can open up and bring that honoring into this story of what's happening. And it feels actually empowering. And there have been times when I've felt like this virus and everything that's going on in the world is really a gift, to see how much empowerment can come from it, from choice, or how much shadow work can come out of it. And I'm actually noticing that it's actually a little of both. And so we can either choose to learn from it and grow from it, or we can learn to be new inside of it. But either way, we're expanding from it. We're either acknowledging these darker aspects that we've denied and the fear that we've been ruled by, the control that we've been repressed and oppressed by, the aspects that we've demonized. We're either acknowledging, allowing, and embracing those, bringing them back in to our complete being, or we're bringing our new being into these old limited stories and scenarios. So either way, we're winning from it, and it's really about tapping into what feels good to us and embracing that, and also asking empowering questions, asking, what's the most joyful way that I can overcome this? What's the most awe-inspiring scenario that can come out of this? How can I become more fascinated and curious and playful with this? So it's questions like that I'm finding that are actually bringing the most fulfilling answers. So I have rambled on quite a bit, but I just felt called to talk about this on a personal level, and feeling like that we're all kind of going through it in our own ways and getting different things out of it. And I would love to have conversations about it and see what aha moments you're coming up with, and what downloads are coming, and how you're shifting and how you're thriving in this situation the way it is now. So if you're new here, click subscribe, and if you have a story or questions or something, I'd love to just have a conversation and help each other grow and expand and become more free and empowered and in a higher place of love. So have a good day.